Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you're doing well and good. In this video, we are going to talk about karmic relationships or the past life relationships. So, let's say you are interacting with a new person for the first time and you haven't interacted before. This is the first time you're having that interaction. But once you have that interaction, it feels as if this is not the first time you are interacting. You have interacted with that person before. Maybe in this lifetime or maybe in the previous lifetime. The bond feels so magnetic, so attractive. It just feels surreal, so it doesn't feel as if that this is the first time you're interacting. Then such a bond is karmic in nature. The more time you're spending with the person, the more karmically loaded that bond becomes. So the relationship that you have with your parents is karmic in nature. The relationship that you have with your spouse is karmic in nature. The relationship that you have with your kids, siblings, and family members is karmic in nature. The relationship that you have with your friends and other people that you meet randomly is also karmic in nature. It's just differentiated in intensity. So the more time you're spending with the person, the more karmically loaded that bond becomes. And the more heavier the interaction is, the more intense the interaction is, the more conflicts that you are having, the more karmically loaded that bond becomes. So, what do I mean by karmically loaded? We will answer this question, but before that, let's try to understand relationship dynamics. When I'm trying to talk about relationship dynamics, it can be a friendly relationship, it can be a relationship with your parents, it can be a relationship with any other person, with your spouse, your children, any other person. Okay, so whenever two individuals are interacting with each other, first of all, each and every individual is unique in their own nature. Okay, and their thoughts, their actions, what they think, how they frame things, everything is different. And let's say, for example, two people are interacting for the first time. They get excited and they get try to understand the rhythm of the other person, like how they interact, how they speak, what they think. And initially, each and every bond that you are making, it is very, uh, dopamine driven bond. So like you are enjoying the bond. Okay, this is amazing. This is the first time you're meeting, so this person seems interesting. Okay, wow. Okay, such things happen. So that is why it is very easier for a person to interact with a person, because when you are interacting with a person for a long duration of time, there is nervous system triggers that accumulate over a period of time, because you try to understand such patterns, you're trying to make sense of those patterns, and you have a stored memory of that person, and stored memory of all the trauma and everything, interaction, each and every kind of interaction you have had with the person, everything just get stored in your memory, and you just simply behave with the person the same way that you perceive that person when that person is acting in a certain way. So what ends up happening is that we eventually presume what other person would do given in a situation when a person says something. That assumption eventually leads to conflicts. What another thing is happening initially, okay, these two people are dancing, they're trying to understand each other. What happens in a time is that they try to realize each other, or understand each other rhythm. So okay, so he dances in this way or he behaves in this way, that is how I can speak and that is how I cannot speak. This is allowance that I have, this is not what I can say. So these kind of things happen in socially, in friends, in society. There are certain restrictions that you are having. You can say this, you cannot say this, you cannot abuse, you can talk about these things, you cannot talk about these things, this is negative, this is positive. All these kind of things are society like made these things, and okay, this is the frame. So let's say if you're not getting married, then you are out of the frame of the reference. These kind of things happen. Okay, so over a period of time, when you understand a person, you understand the rhythm of the person, and eventually in a relationship, when two people try to understand each other, they try to bind with each other. They're trying to become stable in union with each other, like this. They're just trying to become stable in union with each other. So inherently each and every person thoughts are different, they think differently, act differently, behave differently. So intrinsically every bond a person make with another person is unstable in nature. That is why what we do spiritually is that we say that we should remain detached with another person. We should not get too involved with another person while living with a person. Because if we get too involved, then there will be conflicts, and if there will be conflicts, then things will go haywire. Okay, so another thing that happens in a relationship is that when two individuals understand each other really well, and when they're emotionally involved with each other and they understand each other patterns and they have intertwined with each other, what they do is they try to control the another person, that say, okay, you cannot say these things. If you say these things, then this will happen, I'll not talk to you, or these kind of things happen. Even the kids also do that. So when you were a child, when you used to go play out with some kid, and some kid is angry with that kid, and that kid says, if you go and talk with that kid, I'll not talk to you, and you will not be my friend. If you behave in this way, you will not be my friend. Similarly, even in a relationship, what happens is eventually they just try to, act and tell you things that, okay, this is your limit of tolerance. This is the tolerance that you can operate in. If you just completely go out of that tolerance, then you will not be in a relationship or not be in binding with me. And this bond will break, and I'll not talk to you, and these things will get haywire. So eventually, subconsciously, both the individuals are trying to bond with each other and try to remain stable with each other, but intrinsically, that is not possible. So you might have noticed in the marriages what happens is eventually that two individuals are completely good and like positive, and their intentions are also good. Nothing is wrong. Everything is just fine. And yet they are fighting with each other. They even care about each other. They may even love each other. They may even want good for each other. That is why they are telling few things. That is why they are controlling few things, few aspects of their life. Okay, don't do this, don't do this, don't say this, don't go out, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do that. Okay, so they are just trying to control that, fixed tolerance level. But that dynamics is inherently unstable in nature, and both the individuals are just trying to be stable, and while being stable they're just trying to control each other. That's that's you know that's the toxicity that happens in a relationship. So that is why in spirituality we say that you can be with a person but remain detached with that person even after being married to that person. You can have children, but be detached with the children. You can have parents, but be detached with the parents. Any kind of bond you can have that bond. You can enjoy that bond. You can be with that bond. But do not identify yourself with that bond. Remain detached. Be yourself. Because eventually nobody understand you as much as you do yourself. Okay? Nobody would be able to fit with you as much you fit with them. Fit with yourself. So you have to be very conscious about it. So that is what I was trying to explain. And also the you know our nervous system basically uh, try to understand the rhythm of the other person, and while understanding the rhythm, the other person while doing some actions may trigger our emotional response. Eventually what happens is in such a scenario that two person just keep on bursting out on each other on very little things, extremely little things. You might have noticed if a relationship is like very heavy since a very long time, even a little thing, even a drop of water can overflow the tank. Such kind of things happen. So that is why it is said that in a relationship you have to be very detached, and you have to free yourself. So in our sadhana as well, in Kali sadhana as well, the Kali is basically trying to dissolve all the karmic relationships. So eventually our life purpose is to dissolve all the karmic relationships, because we know that by experience and by knowledge that Each and every relationship, or each and every kind of relationship, is eventually karmic and emotionally heavy, and nobody can stabilize you as much as you can stabilize yourself. So what we are eventually trying to do is trying to dissolve all the karmic bonds so that we don't end up suffering, because all the entanglement and everything, all the relationship, all the ups and highs and lows and everything just end up causing suffering. I can agree with you that okay, the relationship also, like, there are positive side of it as well. People go out, hang out, and have good time and spend good memories. Everything is there. Yes, everything is there. You can have that, but after having that experience, after having, like, going to the party and after having that good experience, please do not get attached to that experience, because that experience in itself is divine in nature, and it is not meant to be stayed. It is not meant to stay. Okay. And people just try to, control that experience, and also control that, okay, you made me feel that way, why don't you make me feel that way now? We went there in that vacation that time, why don't we go to vacation now? We go to that club that day, why don't we go to that club now? We go to that restaurant and eat that special cuisine food that day, why don't we go that more often? All the desires, everything just eventually end up in suffering. So we should not even desire too much, because eventually all the desires will also eventually end up in suffering. So I hope my message is clear in this video. I was trying to explain you about the karmic relationship, and eventually I had just end up explaining you many other things as well that is interrelated to the karmic relationship. And I hope you find this video insightful, and eventually our goal is to, like, reduce our ego, reduce our desires, and dissolve all the karmic bonds. When I say dissolve all the karmic bonds, is that it is not by blocking the other individual, it is not like cutting off the bond. If you cut off the bond, that bond will not dissolve. Okay, so another thing that I recalled in this situation, let's say you cut off a bond. You have spent some time with a person, and now you decided that you don't want to spend even a second with that person, and you cut off that bond. As long as the other person is thinking about you, even if that person is not in interaction with you, that bond is karmically loaded, and you will not get rid of that karma by, exiting from that bond. Eventually, the purpose of each and every bond is to dissolve. What do I mean by dissolve? Is why, if you want to dissolve a bond, both the individuals no longer want to interact with each other. They are just being with each other. They are just being with themselves, and they no longer want to interact with each other. Then a bond dissolves. Other than that, if you're trying to cut off the bond, that bond will not dissolve, and it will create more entanglement, more karmic load. You will not want that. The end goal is basically that both the individuals naturally distance and don't want to interact, because they may interact, but rarely they may interact. Okay. So I hope that I was able to deliver all the messages that I wanted to deliver. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked the video. Yeah.